What's the biggest obstacle to our biggest global challenges? It's not a lack of funding, policy, or research. Something much more fundamental keeps getting in the way: our own brain. The human brain evolved to keep us alive in the savannah, in tribes. It lets us sense threats and rewards. It allows us to communicate, to collaborate, to reason our way through challenges. When we're confronted with adversity, we can pull together and cooperate to prevail together. The human brain did not evolve for us to help other tribes stay alive on our savannah. In fact, the brain specifically undermines negotiations with those who we view as opponents by inhibiting the relationships, creativity, and commitment that are required to solve the more complex challenges. We learned to compete against other tribes for scarce resources. Competition and cooperation, these two states, they have been part of how the mind works for as long as humans have existed. You know both of these two states. You've experienced them. You've actively participated in them. They worked really well when we were living our lives in small, semi-permanent savannah tribes, facing tribe-sized challenges. But today, not so much. Today we face daunting global challenges that don't stop neatly at some nearby border. If we want to solve problems on a global scale, we must learn to suppress our instinct to compete against one another and instead choose to collaborate as a global tribe. We know what it feels like to do that on a small scale, organizing a local fundraiser, pulling together to help a sick neighbor. This meaningful cooperation changes us. We build trust and relationships with each other. We pursue a shared sense of purpose. We focus on what really matters, and we are able to create inventive solutions that no one of us could have come up with on their own. Even better, it lays the groundwork for us to collaborate more easily and effectively with those same partners again and again. This is a strong and self-reinforcing system. You can see what a powerful asset it would be to any tribe on the savannas of our past or today. I call this behavioral system principled cooperation. Principled because we can serve ourselves and others. Cooperation because we do it together. We know then how we should be acting, but if we're honest with ourselves, we don't do it enough. So what's getting in the way? Well, first, our 21st century world is a very complicated one. It's different than the savannah of our past. We change roles so many times a day that we no longer belong to a single tribe. Don't believe me? Go outside, drive around your town for just 1 hour. I promise that you'll see that most of those other drivers, they belong to some other tribe. And look how easily we mistreat each other from behind the anonymity of our own car. Secondly, this fragmented tribe world comes with a lot of competition. Competition is fundamental to our politics, our schools, our jobs, our businesses, how we purchase and spend our money. Competition can be great. It spurs innovation, hard work, and reward. But there's a particular kind of competition that's getting in our way. If principled cooperation is a utopia of how we can act together, partisan competition is the dystopia. Unfortunately, our brains are very good at this too. Think about the last time that you listened to or read the news. Did anyone out there find themselves shaking? Did you find yourself shaking your head in disbelief at the villainous act of some individual, company, political party, a government? Did you then wonder, how could anybody in their right mind continue to publicly support that villain after what they had done? Or, wait, am I the only one who does this? No, we all do it. It's okay. But I have some bad news for you. That divisive disbelief is a symptom of partisan competition. The more certain we are in our own point of view, the more righteously we are compelled to act on it and to evangelize it to others. The context doesn't matter. Politics, climate change, hobbies, parenting, how often to mow the lawn. When we are certain in our point of view and brandish it as truth, we will conflict with those who don't share our views. And we're going to engage in a partisan struggle for ideological dominance. In partisan competition, every important issue becomes a consuming drama. Our social media world heats up. We tune into friendly news outlets and communities who confirm our worldviews. Water cooler conversations become a welcome, affirming relief, or an unexpected offense and cold shoulder. We wonder, how could the other side be so wrong? And we start to judge their intelligence or their integrity. How are you all doing? You okay? A little uncomfortable? It's okay. We're exploring the competitive side of our brain. It's not all pretty. And like principled cooperation, partisan competition is a strong, very strong and resilient system. Once you're in that path, it is hard to get out. So there are times for competition, and there are times for cooperation. We're not going to call up a business competitor and coach them to win away our prized client. We're also not going to keep score of which relatives and friends bring us the best birthday presents, and then announce a winner and losers. Or at least we shouldn't. Right? I hope that we don't do that. We mostly compete when we should, and we mostly collaborate when we should, but not always. And that's where partisan competition can really cause problems. It turns out that if you combine these two mindsets into one system, something terrible happens. The partisan competition state, it wins. Partisan competition specifically inhibits the things that make principled cooperation work. It snuffs out cooperation, like putting a glass over a candle's flame. The struggle for dominance reinforces a fixed mindset and the point of view that we already have. It encourages us to see others as opponents, or worse. We stop trusting them. We might stop treating them fairly. All sides can look at the same set of facts, but each only sees what they already expect to see. We enter a downward relationship spiral, whether we want to or not. So why can't we solve our global challenges? Because partisan competition is preventing us from collaborating to solve problems that are bigger than our tribe. Let me say that one more time. Partisan competition prevents us from collaborating to solve problems that are bigger than our tribe. At the core of each of these challenges, there are humans who need to sit down and choose to compete or to cooperate. And if we want to solve the biggest global challenges that we're facing, we're going to need to work hard to make sure that partisan competition doesn't make our brains think small. How do we do it? How do we do it? How do we inoculate ourselves against the partisan competition and encourage principled cooperation? Well, first, for cooperation to begin, we need to build trusting relationships and ensure that there is fair treatment of everyone involved. This will build psychological reward and build relationship bonds that will let us stick together when the going gets difficult. Second, we have to approach cooperation with a growth mindset, a willingness to be open to new ideas and new ways of seeing things. We must let go of the idea that our idea is the only correct one. That is harder than it sounds, especially when we are well-informed experts. Third, we must understand how solving the shared problem matters to all parties. Tackling hard problems with other tribes is hard. And we can only find mutual benefit for everyone if we know what everyone needs. Only then can we create a solution that everyone will commit to. Trust and be fair. Be open to others' ideas. Choose and act together. We must make principled cooperation our default, our habit. We all hold influence in the way that we work, parent, teach, volunteer, share meals, share fences. If we look for opportunities to build trust, if we are generously fair, if we really listen to hear others and we consider that they might be just as right as we are, then we can join together. We can create better outcomes and we can create better futures. So are we going to do it? Let's try that one again for the video replay. So are we going to do it?
Yes!
Whether you are creating a neighborhood block party or optimizing a global corporate supply chain, your choices matter. Make them principled. Make them cooperative. It's going to be hard work. You'll find yourself easing back into the muscle memory of partisan competition. What will keep you going? What will keep you choosing principled cooperation for your biggest challenges? Here's what keeps me going. The future of my daughter, the future of your children, of their children, futures of all children. Those futures require that we figure out how to solve these bigger-than-tribes problems. What we're doing right now just isn't working. We are failing the generations who will come after us. This is the point in the talk where I would love to share with you a global, enduring example of principled cooperation in action. Well, I'd love to, but I can't. They're very hard to come by. And they're weakened or crippled by repeated battles with partisan competition. So instead, I'm going to share with you a very small story from my own life. One that happened right about the time that I sat down to start writing this talk. When I was growing up, my family moved a lot. Getting out into the woods, into nature, gave me a sense of consistency, a sense of home, no matter my new zip code. There was a comforting sameness to the green-gold glow of the leaves lit from the sun above, the whispers of the winds in the trees, the new smells of every changing season. They were all there welcoming me back, no matter where I was. And so whenever I wasn't reading or washing dishes, my perpetual punishment chore, my feet carried me to the woods. And they still do. When I come home from a work trip or I'm stressed about the news, my attention turns to the forest. On a recent morning, I was eagerly tying my shoes and cajoling my young daughter to go on a walk in the woods with me, a temporary escape. Annoyed, she challenged me. "Dada, why do you always want to go to the woods when you get home?" Well, I felt surprised, but also confused. In my mind, I could feel the cool embrace of the forest air. I could smell the fragrant earth, an antidote to the angry voices on the news, to the clench of fear of the latest climate report. She experienced none of these things. She just wanted her dada to cuddle with her and read. The woods, nature, is my personal escape. I need it to relax and comfort my mind, to feel whole. And here I was, creating the tiny seeds of partisan competition. I was projecting my needs onto her and assuming that they were what she needed too. Here were those tiny seeds in the place that should be most sacred, most safe, the space between a child and her parent. Trust and be fair, be open to others' ideas, choose and act together. I gently placed my hands on her cheeks. I said, "For me, the woods are home, sweetie. What feels like home for you?" I knelt down so I could really listen to her answer. Thank you.